With house prices going through the roof, multifamily homes are becoming more and more popular. But if you're converting a unit, you must install fire separation to ensure safety. So BroLaw's Dave and Joey are back to show us how to do it. And thank you for this very important lesson, guys.
But of course, this is Fire Prevention Week, and you're exactly right, Tracy. Multifamily homes are becoming more and more popular, so for us, that means multifamily renovations. A fire can spread throughout the house as quick as 2 minutes, and it can take 7 or 8 minutes for the fire department to show up, and even longer if you're in a rural area. So where we are, if you're doing that renovation, you need to create a 1-hour fire separation between the units by using these passive fire preventative measures.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking about seconds here, so every second you get in that house is going to help you out. So what we have here is some 5/8 fire-rated drywall. So it's a little bit thicker, a little bit more dense than a typical drywall that you would find in your house, and you can see the fire code label on it. So that's going to just ensure that you're using the right product. And then here we've got some fire sealant. So this is a caulking that we use on our renovations where there's like a pipe coming up through or electrical wires. We're going to fill those holes and cavities with that sealant. And then we have Rockwool Insulation. So all of these together are going to help slow down and give you a little bit more time in amongst that situation.
Okay, can you get into the insulation a little bit more? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so like I was talking about, this is Rockwool Safe and Sound Insulation, and where we work, we need to have 6 inches of it in between a cavity that separates 2 different units. So as the name suggests, Rockwool, it's made from rock, and the fact that it's made from rock fibers, it allows it to resist fire up to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So to demonstrate that, we're going to take a butane torch, which gets up to about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and show you what's going to happen. Don't worry, I got Safety Joe by my side. So you can see as we get up there, you get some scorch marks along it. And if we get in tight, that 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit is getting it hot. It looks like it's catching fire, but it's not actually catching fire. It's just kind of melting it. And this also doesn't have any chemicals added to it to prevent fire or anything like that. So the off gases from it aren't harmful. They're not going to put off gases into the air that are going to damage, say, the firefighters coming into the space.
It's also super easy to use. So even if you're doing your own renovation, it's very important that you use this product. It's easy to cut and it's easy to install. Another way that fire and smoke spreads throughout the house is through your HVAC system. All those ducts that go throughout your house that spread air around, it can travel through your HVAC. So another thing that is required is an in-duct smoke detector. So that way, if a fire starts, smoke gets sucked towards your furnace, it'll detect that and shut it down so it stops spreading it throughout the house.
Ooh, first of all, that product is very cool. And you know what's awesome? You would never have been allowed to do that in studio. It is so good that you're at home to do that blowtorch situation. That's amazing. And I didn't know about the HVAC situation as well. So very interesting information there. What else do we need to know?
Yeah. There's a lot of things that go into making that safe space, and one thing that's really important is having an interconnected smoke and CO2 alarm. So this is a 3-in-1. It's got your smoke detector, it's got your CO2, and it has a strobe. So it's got a big flashing light that's going to indicate that there's a fire. And let me tell you, when our electrician tests these in our renovations, it's loud. It is so loud that even Joey can't sleep through it, and that guy can sleep through just about anything.
That's a fact. And like Dave mentioned, they are wired. So you have these on both units, so if you have smoke on one unit, it'll alarm the other unit as well, which is key. The other big important factor is means of egress. So that's having 2 points of escape from a unit. This is particularly important in a basement apartment to make sure you have the door to get out and you have another window that's made large enough that a body can fit out of it.
Okay, I don't know about you guys, but my kids actually love going through the fire drill at home. They think it's fun, and I'm like, let's hope we never have to actually do this. Now, what should prospective tenants be asking when they go to rent?
They should be asking their landlord if they have a certification. That's just going to let them know that this has been inspected by an inspector, it's been safetied, and if it hasn't, then you can go through some of the little things and just asking them what's been used throughout the renovation. What have they put in place for me to stay safe in this home? And I mean, even if you have in-laws that you're moving into your home, because that's becoming more and more popular as well, you want to make sure that if that in-law is in a basement that has a bedroom or you've put a stove down there, that you're taking taking the precautions for them as well.
And with all this in mind, once the show is done, obviously, turn it off. Go and check your fire extinguishers.
Yes.
Make sure you have one on each floor. Make sure they're not expired. And then check out all of your fire alarms as well. If they are battery operated, make sure they have a fresh battery. Hit that test button just to make sure, because you can never be too safe when it comes to fire safety.
Yeah, I find like as humans we think like we can think positively, like 1 in a trillion chance of winning the lottery. I can do that. But when it's something that can affect your home, you're like, oh, a fire, that's never going to happen in my home. But meanwhile, in our neighborhood, there have been 2 house fires. And with COVID and people staying home more, there's more cooking at home and there's a higher risk of fire. So we really want to make sure that people are taking it seriously, because it could happen to you at any time.
Crucial information there, guys. Thank you so much for sharing those really good tips with us.